we're going to have some musical performance. It's going to get very loud in here. So, just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm old, so I need these. My character needs these. All right, hang with me on this one, folks. All right, good evening, citizens. Welcome to the first press conference of the President Donald J. Trump administration. Hail Trump! I'm Ross Blanchard, the newly appointed Secretary of Business Management, and I am very excited to be here today. As a recent graduate of Trump University, I am very fortunate to have been offered a position in the President's cabinet. Well, actually, it's more of a bureau than a cabinet. In fact, it started out as a branch of something, and then it turned into some boards, and then it was made into a bureau. But enough about my living conditions. In keeping with his campaign promise to be the nation's CEO, President Trump, hail Trump, has appointed me to help him run the country like a business. That is, after all, what you elected him to do. So consider this more of a staff meeting than a press conference, and me, well, your boss. Let's get things started with what will be changing. We've inherited quite a mess, and as you know, we have some corporate house cleaning to do. First off, profitability. We've discovered that the U.S. government isn't profitable, and as you know, any business must turn a profit. For instance, we've been giving away military assistance to so many countries, and we found out that many countries have not been paying for it. We will be sending special envoys to collect these overdue payments. Some of you have asked about the large gentlemen with the baseball bats around the White House. No, they're not a baseball team, they're our collections department. Also, we feel there are several countries that need protection that don't even know it yet. Canada, perfect example. President Trump, hail Trump, has been hearing things and tells me that many people are saying that Canada is just terrible and awful and there are some bad hombres lurking around. So, President Trump, hail Trump, has sent Canada an invoice in a very nice letter. Dear Canada, nice country you got there. Sure would be a shame if something happened to it. Despite the early success of our protection program, the U.S. government is still not solvent. So, President Trump has decided to divest in some underperforming properties. As many of you know, the entire state of Florida will be below sea level soon, through no fault of human activity, of course. It's a natural cycle. And God is punishing those Floridians who did not vote for President Trump. Hail Trump! And you know who we're talking about. So we are pleased to announce we're pursuing a deal with the newly rediscovered nation of Atlantis to purchase what the president now affectionately calls the limp dick state. President Trump, hail Trump, has read recently in our nation's premier and only remaining newspaper, the National Enquirer, that Atlantis and its King Atlas are in the market for some swampland, and that the Atlanteans don't mind living under a foot or so of brackish water. The president also asked me to point out that reports that the Atlanteans are notorious slavers are, quote, lies, 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 spread by Plato and other media elites. Besides, President Trump, hail Trump, plans to build a wall along the Florida border and have the Atlanteans pay for construction. Apparently, labor is rather cheap in their country. So, we will need the entire Florida staff, residents. Please move your your homes to Alabama as soon as possible. I was told most of you are living in trailers and that you all possess large pickup trucks, so this move should be quick for you. I am empowering each and every one of you to figure out the logistics of the move on your own. Your ability to adapt in such a fast-paced environment will reflect highly on your performance reviews this coming spring. Speaking of performance reviews, President Trump, hail Trump, is concerned that not all of our citizens have been living up to their potential. Of course, along with the downsizing of the country comes a necessary reduction in staff, too. So, underperforming citizens, namely public school teachers, members of the media, and anyone possessing a degree in English who has not since recanted, will be laid off. Now, some of you have called this a deportation of U.S. citizens, but please, it's not. It's simply a reduction in staff. All companies have to do this. After all, to be healthy and profitable, a company needs to get rid of dead weight, right? Well, the same goes for a country if it is to be run like a business. Unproductive citizens, well, they need to go. And again, we're not deporting you, we're firing you. Big difference. Actually, we found new exciting positions for each and every one of you for which we feel you will be more suited. As it turns out, we've retained a small interest in the new nation of Florilantis, who has agreed to take you in. So the good news is some of you Florida residents don't have to move after all. Just stay put. The Great Wall / Dam / Chick-fil-A project to which you will be assigned will be an exciting new opportunity to really flex your muscles. Actually, literally flex your muscles. In other changes to the executive branch, there will be no human resources department in our new corporate state. President Trump, hail Trump! What? Sees no use for such a low energy department. And in the absence of an HR department, President Trump, hail Trump, asks that all complaints of sexual harassment be sent directly to him. He takes these incidents seriously and will review all allegations of sexual harassment personally. Instead of the usual paper forms that loser HR departments use, President Trump, hail Trump, asks that all complaints of sexual, asks that you, so instead of the usual paper forms that the loser HR departments use, President Trump asks that you film yourself in a reenactment of the supposed sexual harassment. Of course, we understand that you wouldn't want the accused in the film. That would be weird, right? So the president, being quite the accomplished actor, will stand in playing the part of the accused. So come prepared for multiple takes, all right? As the president is quite the perfectionist. Okay, here's a notation that the president has scribbled into my copy. It says, 8s and above only. 7s and below aren't anyone's first choice and are clearly making this shit up. Weak. Okay, sorry. And finally, President Trump, hail Trump, has disbanded the Federal Election Commission, stating that we won't be needing any elections in the future since we're running things like a business now. I mean, after all, when was the last time you elected your boss, right? Come on. So now, as a very special guest, we've got a great band coming up, and they are incredible and super. These are my notes that the president gave me, super and awesome. So I'm going to introduce them one by one. On bass, we've got John Smith. All right. On drums, we've got John Smith. On saxophone, we've got John Smith. The Smith brothers, apparently. And on guitar and vocals, who will be up here in a second, your president, the original Donald Trump. Thank you, everyone. The original Donald Trump.